The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hello everyone, very good afternoon. Hope you're all doing fine. First of all, many thanks for joining us on our workshop. Thank you so much for spending your time in registering during your busy schedule because your participation means a lot to us here at ManageEngine. We, the AD Solutions team, hope to make sure that this session is going to be valuable and you will gain something out of it. I welcome you all for today's session on ADManager Plus. I hope that my voice is audible and the screen is well and clear. If not, kindly let us know through the chat. Let me introduce myself. My name is Anu and I am a senior technician at AD Solutions and I am your presenter for the day. So I'm pretty sure that you all know about this series of ADManager Plus workshop. This is workshop number 4, the fourth of the 5 workshops that we are conducting this month. In the past 3 weeks, we were looking on various ways with which you can make your task related to your Active Directory administration very easy with the help of ADManager Plus. So in week 1, we were discussing about user provisioning. We saw how we can create user accounts and then provision, Exchange or Office 365 related attributes all from a single console without having toggle between multiple windows. And in week 2, we saw about user account modification. So we have seen how you can modify user accounts in bulk, how you can change the naming attributes, or how you can move the home folders or move your users to another location, or how you can reset password and all that. In week 3, we saw about Active Directory delegation, in which you saw how you can delegate certain tasks to your help desk technicians or your network administrators. And also we have seen about help desk business workflow. So where we have seen how you can set a standardized structure for your organization and hence you can perform a request approval and execution pattern for all your actions related to Active Directory. And so in last 3 weeks, we were focusing mainly on management activities. So this week, we will be focusing on reporting. So the topic for today is PowerShell free Active Directory reporting and efficient Active Directory accounts and NTFS permission management. So let me quickly share with you the agenda for the day. So on the first half of the session, we will be discussing about PowerShell script-free Active Directory reporting and also how you can manage your account when you perform these reporting. So as a first step, I'll be telling you how you can enforce logon setting for your domain controllers or for some of your file servers for some inappropriate users. So how do I find an inappropriate user? So this application, ADManager Plus, provides you plenty of options where you can get the reports based on your requirement. Say for example, you want to find the inactive users, or say your manager wants to have a look at all of his team members, so you can perform all those reporting operations with the help of ADManager Plus. And the next thing is, say for example, your organization has encountered a brute force attack recently and you want to reset password for all your user accounts. Or say for example, you have updated the password policy for your domain or for a particular organizational unit. So now you want to reset password for all those user accounts either in your domain or in that particular organizational unit. So I'll be telling you how you can do that in today's session. And the next thing is you can see how you can get reports or how you can manage your organization's custom Active Directory attributes. Say for example, if you are an educational institution and you have group code for all the courses and you want to find the courses for each group, the code for each group, so you can get the report using ADManager Plus. And the next thing is you can restrict the user's logon hours. Say for example, you want to restrict the user account from logging into their workstations after the business hours, or say you have shift employees in your organization and you want to change their logon hours according to the shift hours. So you can perform all that using ADManager Plus. And in the second half of the session, we will be focusing on NTFS permission. So the first thing is you can see how you can ensure that no low-level security group is linked iteratively to a top-level admin group. And also you can find out who has access to a confidential share, and also you can perform some cleanup activities if you think that confidential share has some inappropriate permissions. Okay, so we will be seeing all that in today's session. So without any further delay, let me take you to the application. So as you all know that you can make use of the test lab that we have set up and hosted online, or if you have ADManager Plus at your end, you can very well make use of that. So kindly look at the chat window for the URL so that you can access the test lab that we have set up. The username for logging into the application is ADMP and the password is workshop with W capitalized. So kindly log on using ADManager Plus authentication. This is going to be a local authentication, not a domain authentication. So kindly log on using ADManager Plus authentication. So I hope you all have logged into the application. Let me log in as well. So as you all know that when you log into the application, you will be welcomed with the product dashboard. And so in previous sessions, we were looking on Active Directory management, where we saw how you can create a single user account and then delegate Exchange or Office 365 related attributes. And also we have seen how you can create user accounts in bulk. And also we have seen some bulk user modification where you can modify the user accounts in bulk. You can change the naming attribute, or you can move the user and all that. We have seen all that in week 1 and 2. So in week 3 we saw about Active Directory delegation, so where we created a role and then we mapped that to a technician so that you can delegate a particular task for your technicians. And also we have seen about workflow. So this is where you created the request star for your organization so that they can raise a request for any operation in Active Directory, and then you as an administrator can approve and execute that particular request. Okay, in today's session we will be focusing on Active Directory reports. So ADManager Plus gives you an insight into the Active Directory objects. So say for example, with the help of Active Directory reports, you can get the details of all the Active Directory objects present in your domain. So you can get the reports for your user, for your groups, or for your computers, and all that using Active Directory reports. So as I said earlier, the first thing is, let me tell you how you can modify the logon restriction for your file server. Okay. So as a first step, I need to find the inappropriate users. Okay, so how do I find the inappropriate users? So let me say that I do not want the user accounts who are not a part of a particular group, say domain admins, to log into a particular file server. So as a first step, I need to find the inappropriate user account, for which let me select group reports. So there I have a report named users not in groups. So this report will give you the user accounts who are not a part of the particular group that you select here. Okay, so I need to choose domain admins. So let me tell you how you can choose a group here. Click this plus icon so that you can see all the groups present in your domain. And from there, you can select the groups. For me, it's going to be domain admins. So I have already selected the domain admins. Let me click OK. And the next step is to generate this report. Hit generate button to generate this report so that you can get the list of user accounts who are not a part of domain admins group. So as you can see here, there are so many user accounts who are not a part of domain admin groups. So now let me select some of the user accounts. Okay. And then let me choose more actions. So this is where you can choose the action that you want to perform on these user account. So once you're done generating the report, make sure that you select the user accounts for which you want to perform the particular operation. So right now I'm going to remove the logon permission for these user account, for which I need to choose user workstations. Hit go. So this will take you to the console where you can select the particular operation. There you can select the computers either to be removed or to be added for this user account. So right now I'm going to remove computers from users. So let me select allow selected computers, or if you want to add computers to this user account, say for example you want to delegate the logon permission for this admin. So you can simply select this user account and then select the computer here so that you can perform the operation where you can add the computers to user. Okay, so right now I'm going to remove computers from users. Let me click this plus icon so that I can choose the computer, the file server. Say for example, it's a ADMP SQL. So let me select my computers and then hit OK. So once you're done selecting the computers, hit apply. Okay, so you can get the result of this operation either if this particular workstation is not assigned to this computer, then you cannot remove computers from that user account. Or if this user account already has permission to access the particular computers, then you can remove them from that computer. Okay, so this is how you can make logon permission. You can change the logon permission granted for your user account. And the next thing, suppose that you have changed your password policy or your organization has encountered a brute force attack. So how do I reset password for all the user account in my organization? So let me tell you how. Go to AD reports. If you want to display or find all the user accounts present in your domain, go to user reports and then click all users. So here you can either generate the report where you can get the user accounts present in your domain, or even you can choose a particular organizational unit. So let me say I want to generate this report so that I can get the user account who are all belongs to the workshop organizational unit. So let me click add OUs. So when I click add OUs, this will list all the organizational unit present in your domain. So let me choose the organizational unit as workshop and then let me hit OK. And once you're done choosing the organizational unit, let me hit generate. Okay, so this report will give you all the user accounts present under this organizational unit workshop. Okay, so now I'm going to reset password for these user accounts. So if you want to reset password for all these user account, you can simply select all. But right now, I'm just going to select few of my user account and then I'm going to reset password. So once you're done selecting the user account, just select this three dotted button and then choose the action as reset password and hit go. Okay, so now you can either select the option generate password and then this application will generate a password based on the complexity that you have configured in ADManager Plus, or you can either type away the password or you can make the password same as user logon name, or you can simply leave it blank. But right now I'm going to type a password. Make sure it meets the password complexity that you have configured in your domain. And once you're done, you can even choose the password options, whether you want to set user must change the password at next logon or this password never expires and all that. So select the user account and then hit apply. Okay. So the next thing is, how do I report and manage the organization's custom Active Directory attributes? So say for example, I have an employee ID as custom attribute in my organization. So as a first step, I need to add the custom attribute in ADManager Plus. Let me go to Admin tab. If you have attended previous session, you would have known how to add a custom attribute. So let me give you a quick recap of how you can add a custom attribute in ADManager Plus. Let me click LDAP attributes. So if you are an organizational unit and you have group code as a custom attribute configured in your Active Directory, then you can add that here. So for my side, I want to give employee ID here. Let me select add attribute. So let me name the display name as employee ID and let me give the LDAP name as employee ID. Okay. So I'm going to associate it with user reports, and if you want to perform any management operation on this particular attribute, then you need to select that as well. So let me select user creation and modification and add. Okay, so this is how you can add a custom attribute for your organization. Okay, now now I'm going to have a report and manage my organization custom attribute. So let me say employee ID is my custom attribute, and I want to find whether there are any two or more user accounts who has same value, duplicate value for this particular attribute. Okay, so I want to ensure that no two or more users in my organization should have duplicate values for my custom attribute employee ID. So how do I get that? Let me go to AD reports and then let me choose the report users with duplicate attributes. This report is where you can find whether this particular attribute has duplicate value in your domain. Okay, so if you want to choose any other attribute, just click this plus icon and then you can choose that particular attribute. So mine is employee ID. Okay, let me select employee ID and then hit OK and then hit generate. So this report will tell me whether there are any two or more user account who has duplicate value for employee ID. So as you can see here, there are 5 user account who have same employee ID value. But wait a minute, how do I find the exact employee ID value? So you need to just click this add or remove columns. So this is where you can choose the attributes and then have a look at the attribute value for your user account. So my attribute is employee ID. So let me select employee ID and then hit OK. So now you can see the value for your attribute. So this is how you can add or remove columns from your reports. So now you can see that the employee ID for these user account are same and the value is 1234. So if you want to change the value for this particular attribute, just select the user account and then hit more actions and then choose custom attributes and hit go. Okay. So now you need to give the LDAP name for your attribute, which is employee ID, and then you can specify the value, say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then hit apply. So this is how you can change, you can modify the custom attributes for your user accounts. Okay, so next thing is, let me tell you how you can restrict the user's logon hours. So say for example, you do not want any of your user account to log in to their workstation at a particular period, say from 12 a.m. to 5 p.m. So how do I restrict that? Let me tell you how. But as a first step, let me first select the user accounts who have access to log into their workstations from 12 a.m. to 5 a.m. Let me go to AD reports, and then let me choose the report logon hour based report. So you can see that under user reports, so you can select logon hour based report. So first step, I need to find who all have access from 12 a.m. to 5 a.m. Okay, so you can even select the days, you can even select all the days, or you can even select a particular day. You can even select OU, and you can even choose whether you want to find the logon permitted hours, which is from at this period you want to get the user accounts who have logon permission allowed, or you want to find who all have logon denied permission during this period. So I'm going to generate this report for logon permitted hours and then hit generate. So when you hit generate, you can see that there are so many user accounts who have login permission allowed from 12 a.m. to 5 a.m. So let me select few user accounts and then click more action and then choose the action logon hours and hit go. So now I'm going to deny permission for these user account from 12 a.m. to 5 p.m. Okay, if it is grayed out, then this means that the logon permission is denied. When it is green, then it means that the logon permission is allowed. Okay, let me choose the hours. So I'm going to deny permission for my user account from 12 a.m. to 5 p.m. on all days. Okay, so now we can see that from 12 a.m. to 5 a.m. and this logon hour is denied, and for the rest of the hour on all days the logon permission is allowed. Okay, let me hit apply. So this is how you can change the logon hours. Now say that your manager wants to have a look at all of his team members. So how do I get that? Okay, go to Active Directory reports, and then there you can see a report with manager based users. So when you click manager based users, so you can select a user account who will be a manager. So just select this option. So this is where you can select the user account. So you can select the any of the user account and then hit OK. So when you hit generate, this report will give you the user accounts who are all who all have this admin IT India or admin IT UK or admin IT USA as their managers. Okay, so this is how a manager can have a look at all of his team members. And then if he or as you can see here, there are two user accounts who have the manager. So let me see the manager for each account. Let me click add or remove columns. So there you can choose the attribute manager and then hit OK. Okay, so now we can see that this Steve Smith user account has admin IT USA as its manager, and another user account T user 1 has their manager as admin IT India. Okay, so if you want to perform any operation, say for example, you want to change their title, or you want to change their designation, or you want to make any change for their email or description, then you can perform all that with the help of this more action button. So this is how your manager can have access or can have a look at all of his team members. When you want to run such kind of reports in your native Active Directory, either you have to make queries or you want to run a script. Okay, either you have to run a complex script or you have to run a query for getting all these reports. But with the help of ADManager Plus, you can just select the manager and then hit generate button. Then you have all the attributes for all your user accounts. Okay. So let's say that suppose there are few network administrators in your organization and they have not changed their password, but they have access to some crucial file servers. So what do I do now? I want to enforce enforce them to change their password at their next logon. So how to do that? So let me tell you how. As a first step, you need to find who are all the user accounts who have not changed their password in a particular time. So say for example, you want to find out the user account who has not changed their password since last 30 days. So how do I do that? You can see a report, password reports. So just click this password reports. So there you can see a report with the name password unchanged users. So this will list all the user accounts who have not changed their password since the desired time. Okay, so you can even specify a date. You can just specify a date, or you can select this month or last 7 days or last n days. You can specify the date. So let me select last 30 days and hit generate. So now you have seen that these user accounts have not changed their passwords for last 30 days, and suppose that if they can have access to a particular file server or a domain controller, then that particular server can become vulnerable. So you can force these user account so that they can change the password at next logon. So when you hit this button, so you can set these user account should change their password at their next logon. Hit OK so that you can enforce them to change their password at their next logon. So in a similar way, if you want to find the password expired users or the or the user accounts whose password is going to expire soon, then you can view that as well. So you can see the report with the name password expired users. So when you generate this report, you can get to see the user account whose password has expired. Or you can select this report soon to expire user password. So which means that you can find who are all the user accounts whose password is going to expire in say 7 days or 2 days or 3 days. Okay. So there you can select the period, either it can whose password is going to expire in next 30 days or in next week or month or in next n days, say 2 days or 3 days. So you can specify the date and then hit generate. So you can get to see all those user accounts here. Okay. So suppose that you want to find inactive users in your organization. You can see that as well here. So you can see a report inactive users. When you click this inactive users, and you can specify a time for which this user account is inactive for. Say for example, you want to find the user accounts who are inactive for last 30 days. So you can just select the time period and then hit generate. You can even you can even specify whether you should exclude the user accounts who have never logged on, or you want to exclude the disabled users. So you can specify all that here. So there are many more reports that you can have a look at in ADManager Plus. So say for example, you want to find the disabled users, or if you want to find logged out users, you can see all that here. Or if you want to find the last logon time, the recent last logon time for a particular user account. So say for example, you want to find the time, the last time that a particular user has logged on. So you can see that as well using real last logon report. Or if you want to find the user accounts who have recently logged on for say n number of days, for 2 days or for 7 days. So you want to find the user accounts who have logged into their workstations in last 3 days or in last 7 days. So you can get all that report here. Or if you want to generate a report such that you can find the user accounts who have never logged on, so you can get all those in here using AD reports in ADManager Plus. Or if you want to have a look at the group reports, say for example, you want to find recently created or modified or deleted groups, then you can get that as well. Or if you want to segregate these security and distribution groups, so you can run that particular report. Or if you want to get the scope, whether it is domain local or global, so you can get all that using group reports. Okay. So suppose that you want to find the inactive users and then you want to perform a cleanup activity. So how do I do that? So let me select inactive users. So let's say I want to find the user accounts who are inactive for last 30 days. Let me hit generate. Okay. So now as a first step, I'm going to disable this particular user account. Okay. So click this three dotted button and then you can specify the action. So let's say I'm going to disable the user. So select enable disable users and then hit go. So as a first step in the cleanup activity, I'm going to disable this particular inactive user. Choose disable. You can even specify the account expiry date. So I'm not going to set that right now. And let me hit apply. So now I'm going to disable this user account. Okay. So once I'm done disabling this user account, I want to clear away their group membership. So as a next step is, let me click this more action. You need not go to AD management and do all that and then choose the user account again, or you don't have to import a CSV file. You can simply select the operation that you want to perform on these two user accounts here itself. Okay. So right now, let me click group attributes and then hit go. So if you want to clear all their group membership, just select this option, clear all group membership, and hit and select this user account and then hit apply. So this is how you can perform the cleanup activity on once you are done clearing away the group membership, and later on if you want to delete the user account, you can very well delete the user account under AD management tab. Okay. So in the next step, on the next half of the session, so say for example, you want to ensure that no low-level security group is linked iteratively to a top admin group. So let me give you an example. Let me click AD management. So let me show you a sample user account that I have created at my end. Okay, so this is my user account. Okay. So you can see the member of attribute for my user account as basic group 1 and domain users. So as you can see here, this user account Jade is a member of basic group 1 and domain users. So these are the two groups that Jade is a part of. So now let me go to AD reports and then let me choose groups for users report. So under user report, you can see an option groups for users. Okay, so now let me choose my user account. So you can just simply click the select button and then choose your account. So my account is Jade Chan. So you can simply select the user account if you want. So I've already selected my user account and hit generate. So this will list all the groups that this user account is a part of. So now you can see that there are 8 groups that this user account is a member of. So how could this be possible? You have just seen only 2 groups under member of tab, member of attribute. But how come this user account can be a part of 8 groups? This is because Jade Chan is a member of Basic Group 1, which in turn is a member of Top Admin Group, which in turn is a member of Domain Admins and Enterprise Admins. So this is how this basic user account now has become a part of a top level admin group. So how do I clear away the group membership? As you all know, you can simply go to group attributes and then clear all the group membership for this user account. Okay. So the last task for today that I'm going to tell you is how you can find who have access to a confidential share and then you can clean up those appropriate permissions. Okay, so first step is you need to find the permission, you need to find who are all the user accounts that have that have access to that confidential share. Okay, so let me tell you how you can find the permission for a particular share. Go to AD reports and then choose NTFS reports. So this is where you can see an option to choose shares in the servers. So this will list all shares and their permissions in a particular computer. Okay, so let me select a computer for which you need to click this button, add more. So this is where you can select the computers. So let me select ADDC1. If you want to select more computers, more servers, then you can select that as well and then hit OK and then hit generate. So when you hit generate, this report will list all the shares present in this server that you have configured here. So as you can see here, there are some shares present in this server. So let me choose this confidential share. So this is a folder that I have created and shared. So right now you can see that this share has permission for 4 user accounts. But I want to remove the permission from other user account and then delegate only for my administrators. So how do I perform that? Let me tell you how. Go to ADManagement tab and then you can choose File Server Management. So there you can see modify share permissions. So as a first step, you need to choose the folder. So my folder name is confidential share. Let me hit select. And then I need to choose the server ADMP-DC1. Okay, so this is where my share is present and then choose confidential share and then hit OK. So now I need to remove all the existing permission. So let me select remove all existing permission. Let me click OK. And now I want to assign permission only for my administrator groups, for which click the select button, This is where you can choose the account. Okay, so I want to choose administrator group. So click Groups tab and then choose Administrators and hit OK and hit Modify. So now you can modify the share permission on this particular confidential share. Okay, so let me go and have a look at the permissions vested with confidential share. Let me go to AD reports and now let me click NTFS reports and then let me select shares in the servers. And now let me regenerate this report. So hit generate button so that I can get all the shares under this computer ADMP-DC1. So let me have a look at this permission for confidential share. So now we can see that only administrators has permission over confidential share. Okay, so this is how you can generate report for your NTFS permissions, and also you can modify the permissions. Say for example, you want to modify the share permissions, or you want to modify the NTFS permission, or even if you want to remove the share permissions, so you can do all that under file server management. And if you want to have a report on your file server, then go to AD reports and then choose NTFS reports and then get the reports that you want to have. So now coming to the end of the session, let me give you a quick recap on what we have seen today. So we have seen about various reports supported by ADManager Plus. So you have seen how you can generate all the user accounts present in your domain, or if you want to find the inactive users or disabled users, or if you want to find the user accounts whose account has been expired. So you can get to generate all kind of reports using ADManager Plus. We have also seen how you can generate reports with respect to your file servers, and also we have seen how you can manage your file service. Okay, so this is all for today, and in next session in week 5, which will take place at same time next Tuesday, so we will be seeing on how you can automate critical tasks related to your Active Directory. So I was telling you earlier how you can perform cleanup activity for your user account. So if you want to perform this cleanup activity for every 30 days, you need not have to repeat the same steps again every 30 days. You can simply automate such kind of tasks. So we will be seeing how you can perform all those in next session. So I expect your participation in next session as well. Thank you so much for today. If you have any query, kindly mail us at support@admanagerplus.com, or will be having a chat session for about 10 minutes after the end of the session. You can even ask your queries using the chat window. So thank you so much and have a nice day.